Obama's war on full-time employment is what I'd like to talk about today. In Europe, in many of the countries, they've passed laws reducing the work week to 35 or even 30 hours a week. And the theory of the socialist governments that did that is to give more people employment, albeit for fewer hours per person. Obama's not doing that, but he's approaching it very differently, but it's having the same effect. We're all familiar, of course, with his requirement that if you have more than 50 full-time employees, you have to provide health care benefits or face a draconian fine. And we're all aware that full-time meant more than 30 hours. So businesses throughout the United States are cutting back on full-time employment, reducing the number of hours. So they reduce the number of people who are working more than 30 hours so that it's below the 50 employee threshold that was set in Obamacare. The other shoe dropped last week. Obama is announcing new rules to require overtime for most American workers. Right now, you don't have to pay overtime to anyone who makes more than $450 a week. And Obama's proposing to raise it. We don't know to what, but we think $700 or $800 a week. California's raised it to $1,000 a week. And right now, you don't have to pay on overtime if the person is supervisory in any of his duties. Obama's going to change that, so it would have to be mainly supervisory in his duties. You'd have to have an overwhelming majority of his time as a manager or a supervisor to avoid paying overtime. And overtime, of course, is a time and a half. The effect of this is predictable. Businesses throughout the United States will simply take jobs where the salary would rise above the threshold and cut them in half. Cut the hours in half, cut the jobs in half. Take somebody who's going to be making, say, $700 a week and cut them to half-time and have two workers making $350 each. And that way you don't have to pay overtime. And I think Obama knows this. I think that Obama's effort here is to reduce full-time employment, both as a means of generating more jobs, which is to say more people underemployed but still employed, and to reduce the political liability of people that are out of work. Also, of course, he wants to throw a sop to low-income voters and put some meat on the bones of his program to end income inequality by raising the minimum wage, which he can't do without Congress, and expanding overtime, which he can do without Congress. George W. Bush raised the threshold for overtime work up to $450 by executive order, and Obama can raise it higher by executive order. But these actions all are a part of an effort by Obama to force employers to reduce the number of hours they're hiring each worker, so as to expand the number of people that are employed so he can reap political advantage from it. It also is a demagogic attempt to say that he's cracking down on income inequality, when in fact his actions will have the exact opposite effect. Thanks for watching.